In the year 1587, on the shores of what would become North Carolina, a small band of settlers stepped ashore. It was the beginning of a dream, England's first attempt at a colony in the New World. There were men, strong and hopeful, women, determined and curious, and children with eyes full of wonder. They built homes from wood and stone, started fires, planted seeds, and sang songs of hope for the future. They named this place Roanoke, but within just a few years, they would vanish without a trace. No bodies, no graves, no signs of struggle. All that remained was a single word carved into a post. Croatoan. It was August 1587 when John White, the governor of the colony, watched the ships carrying his people sail away. He knew they were going back to England for supplies. The colony was struggling. Food was scarce. Tensions with the native tribes were high, and winter was coming. But they would be back soon, he promised. The settlers waved as the ships disappeared over the horizon, hoping for the day when they would return. But the ships never came back. John White was right about the weather, too. Winter descended on Roanoke, bringing with it biting winds and icy rain. The settlers were left alone. Chapter 2. The Doomed. Delay. Back in England, John White pleaded with the leaders to send help to the colony, describing the desperate situation his people were in. But while waiting for the supplies and reinforcements to arrive, disaster struck. War broke out with Spain, and John White found himself caught in the middle of a battle for the throne of England. Elizabeth, the one who had supported his colony, died. Her successor, the new queen, was a mere child, and amidst the chaos, the colony of Roanoke was forgotten. In 1590, 3 years after the supply ships were supposed to have returned, John White was finally able to secure passage back to North Carolina. The journey across the Atlantic was long and fraught with peril, but the hope of reuniting with his people kept him going. When his ship finally reached the coast of Roanoke, and he saw the familiar shoreline, his heart raced with anticipation. But as he stepped ashore, that anticipation turned to dread. The colony was deserted. The houses were empty. The tools lay abandoned, and there was no sign of the settlers anywhere. As days turned into weeks, it became clear that something terrible had happened. The settlers had simply vanished. The mystery deepened when John White discovered a wooden post with the word Croatoan carved into it. Was it a message? A clue to where the settlers had gone, or a curse that condemned them to disappear without a trace? The settlers had left behind no trace of their whereabouts. Their belongings were untouched, their beds unmade, their meals half-cooked. It was as if they had all decided to leave the colony in haste, abandoning everything behind. The absence of any struggle or sign of foul play pointed towards a mass exodus. Had they all chosen to leave together? But where could they have gone? The surrounding areas were searched, but no sign of the missing colonists was found. Graves were checked, but no bodies were uncovered. The Native American tribes were questioned, but none had seen or heard of the settlers' whereabouts. The mystery only deepened, shrouding the colony in an enigma that has endured for centuries. Chapter 4. The theories. Over the years, many theories have emerged attempting to explain the baffling disappearance of the Roanoke colonists. But each theory raises more questions than it answers. Here are some of the leading theories that attempt to explain the unsettling mystery. Assimilation theory. The most widely accepted theory suggests that the colonists didn't vanish, but instead integrated with the local Native American tribes, particularly the Croatoan tribe, hence the cryptic clue left behind. However, this theory lacks concrete evidence. If the settlers had assimilated, why haven't we found any records or descendants that could prove it? Starvation and disease. Another theory posits that the colonists perished due to starvation or disease, with their remains possibly blending into the soil. This theory seems plausible, considering the hardships they faced, but the absence of any graves or archaeological evidence makes it less likely. Massacre. The idea that the colonists were massacred by a Native American tribe or a group of pirates is also considered, but again, the lack of physical evidence points towards other possibilities. If they had been attacked, wouldn't there be signs of a struggle, or at least some indication of violence? Witchcraft and curses. Legends speak of the island being cursed, with some believing that the land itself sacred to Native Americans, rejected the colonists and caused them to vanish. This theory finds support in the settlers' own writings, which mention strange occurrences and potential supernatural forces at play. Paranormal forces. Even today, people claim to experience strange phenomena on the island, from ghostly whispers and shadows to the unsettling feeling of being watched. Some believe that the island is haunted and that paranormal forces may have played a role in the colony's disappearance. Alien abduction. More modern theories propose that the colonists were abducted by extraterrestrial beings. While intriguing, this theory lacks any factual basis and relies heavily on speculation and unidentified flying object sightings in the area. Each theory offers a different perspective, but none can definitively explain what really happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Chapter 5. The Haunting Legacy. More than 4 centuries have passed since the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists, yet their fate remains a profound mystery. Archaeologists continue to search for clues. Historians debate theories, and the island stands as a haunting reminder of the colony's enigmatic end. Today, the site of the lost colony is part of a state park in North Carolina. Visitors come to explore the historic fort and settlements, walk the paths where the colonists once strolled, and stand in awe of the mystery that still shrouds the island. Many report strange experiences, from hearing eerie cries in the dead of night to seeing the fleeting shadows of figures moving through the trees. Some believe that the word Croatoan, carved into the post, is not just a clue, but a curse that condemns those who try to settle the island to vanish like the colonists before them. As the sun sets over Roanoke Island, casting long shadows across the historic site, visitors and locals alike share hushed whispers of the colony's eerie past. The laughter of children playing nearby seems to echo with the spirits of the lost colony, while the rustling of leaves carries the faint sound of footsteps from another time. As darkness falls, the island comes alive with a haunting presence. Unexplainable whispers seem to drift across the wind, carrying tales of the colony's final days. Some say they've heard voices calling out in the night, searching for help or perhaps trying to warn those who come after them. The silence of the island is broken by these chilling sounds, leaving visitors questioning whether they are merely figments of the imagination or echoes from a tragic past. The story of Roanoke continues to captivate and terrify, reminding us of the enduring allure of the unknown. As we explore the remnants of the colony, we do so knowing that we are walking in the footsteps of those who vanished without a trace. The mystery deepens with each passing year, ensuring that the legacy of the lost colony of Roanoke will live on, forever haunting our imaginations. The truth behind the disappearance of the Roanoke colonists remains elusive, hidden within the confines of the island's rich history. Was it hunger, relentless conflict with the natives, or something more sinister that led to their demise? The answer lies buried in the cursed soil of the island, waiting to be uncovered. As we continue to piece together the fragments of this haunting tale, one thing is certain: Roanoke will never stop haunting us. Alright, history buffs, it's time to put your knowledge to the test. How much of this mystery can you recall? Take our quiz to find out. Click here to keep watching. Do you want to miss out on our spine-chilling video about haunted places in America that will send shivers down your spine?